Yeah, so on day one, we started off introducing this concept of this knowledge management ecosystems approach, which we use a tree as an analogy of how knowledge management takes place within an organization. So the concept was a bit abstract, but the participants did a very good job in terms of capturing and understanding. And then they actually compared their individual understandings of the approach. And while doing our group work, it became clearer and it was a much more harmonized approach. So I was very impressed by the speed with which they actually understood and internalized the process. We started off day two by coming back, after having spent the night reflecting on it, doing a reflection on what we learned on day one. And very quickly again we realized that the approach of using the KM ecosystems approach and illustrated as a tree was a useful model for them to be able to analyze knowledge management within the organization or within the agricultural sector, component by component. So that was useful. It was established that it was useful. We then spent the rest of the morning going deeper into it to see how the questionnaire that we've developed can also now be used to quantify the extent to which they're using these processes and to assess how well knowledge management is taking place within the organizations. We then continued in the afternoon with presentations about knowledge management in each of the 8 countries which were present. We also had the regional farmers organization, PFON, was present in the room, so they also presented how this model of the tree, the knowledge management tree, applies to PFON. So in the end, we had thought that we might need 3 different approaches to development of these knowledge management action plans. But in the end, we came up with maybe the 2 models that would be used, and there would be 4 countries in each one of these approaches. So in the first approach, it would be Fiji, Vanuatu, Tonga and Samoa. And in the second approach, which is more of a sub-regional approach, we would have Palau, Niue, Cook Islands and Tuvalu. Yeah. So on day 3, we then started off again as a reflection of the previous days, or what we had learned. Again, the participants recognized the value of sharing information about the situation in their countries on knowledge management and how, again, knowledge sharing helps you understand. So they all agreed that there was so much they learned about the commonalities and of the challenges and the assets that they possess at the level of the countries. So we then used the opportunity of the country representatives being here at this workshop to help the LRD. So this is the SPC's Land Resource Division, which had previously developed its own knowledge management strategy, and they had a whole set of options to consider for the implementation of their knowledge management for the benefit of the region. So the member states were able to assess the different options and made some recommendations as to which ones they would prefer or they would recommend that LRD puts into place where it would benefit the member states in turn. So my overall impression of the workshop is that we came here to introduce a concept and guide them as to the process that they would have to go through to develop their national knowledge management action plan. They did very well in terms of gaining the understanding, in terms of sharing and learning amongst themselves. And we hope that this is a process that they will continue as they go further into implementation. And I have no doubt that all the 8 countries, which will be supported over the next year, in a phased manner, that they will be able to achieve their national plans. So as organizations such as CTA, the SPC through LRD, and the PAP project, we are going to be there to support them in the process as they go through the development of their plans.